I want to bring in my colleague, Ashleigh Banfield, now, who has also been following this case closely since the very beginning. Ashleigh, let's start with what Brian Enton just reported, the fact that Brian Laundrie is not at that home, and now the FBI are searching for his whereabouts tonight. What are you hearing from your sources?
Well, first and foremost, Brian Enton has done an incredible job, Marnie, on a stakeout that I think is now going on 4 days. He hasn't left, and he knew that Brian Laundrie was in that home. So what has likely happened is Brian has gone out another exit, not one that was visible to the press and the public out front, which leads me to the question, what do Mr. and Mrs. Laundrie know about where their son was and where he is now? I understand they haven't been helping us with regard to information as to the whereabouts of Gabby Petito. But now they have two people they have to help us with. Where is their son? And that will be a very curious conundrum that they will be in.
Ashleigh, you have covered some of the nation's most high-profile criminal court cases. What, in your mind, stands out, considering how much attention this case and missing person investigation with Gabby is going?
You know, every time a big case hits the headlines, Marnie, I try to assess what is it. Oftentimes, yes, it involves a pretty girl. But in this particular case, there's a lot more to it. There is a narrative, a story that was being played out for all to follow on social media of this idyllic trip across the country. Didn't we all want to be there? And then all of a sudden we didn't. And the problem is there's no explanation. When you are innocent, you do everything to help the person who's in peril, the person you love. You help. Whenever you do not help, that's where the scrutiny comes, because there's a reason you're not helping, and it's probably not a good one. That's why this sticks in the headlines. That's why that house, with that porch light on, has all those protesters out front screaming through bullhorns, "Where's Gabby Petito?" Because the public now feels like we have been shafted. We are angry. We feel like the police are our representatives to help that young girl. We just don't understand how an innocent person could possibly just not speak.
No, it's incredibly frustrating. And I know you, as I have, been talking with the family members, and just to continue to hit dead ends with no answers is infuriating. Before I let you go, Ashleigh, in terms of who leads this type of investigation, I mean, as we just saw, geographically, it is all over the map, from coast to coast, basically. FBI in charge, the local Northport police. How do they coordinate this type of case?
Well, it is likely that the FBI will play a coordinating role, Marnie, because we are straddling a number of different states in that aspect. But that doesn't mean that the local associations and police affiliates aren't going to be doing their damnedest to get every single piece of evidence they can and ask every single person. Like the reporter who just preceded me talked about this sighting at Jenny Lake. You know, that was chatter just a few hours ago. That's now an investigation. So that's what's happening on all of these local levels. Until we can really narrow down where she last was, everybody's going to be doing everything they can to collect every piece of information. And let me tell you something, that's expensive. That takes a lot of resources away from other things that are happening in those communities. And if Brian Laundrie turns out to know more than he's saying right now, and it is critical, then he is also going to have to face the music of all the trouble that he's caused all of these jurisdictions. And he might have to actually face charges in each of those jurisdictions, which means extradition and a domino effect of legal problems all over the country.